Alright, so we're going to look at the head for the 63 block that we had, and this is what we look at. You can tell the condition of this head by looking at the valves. And if you notice, the intakes are really black and the exhausts are really black. This thing probably needs a valve job. There's also kind of recess in the valves. They should be flat to the surface. They should be a little raised above. They're not. So they've been recessed a little bit. It's probably a good candidate for putting this into a new seats and stuff in it. Take a look at the valves. Look at the cylinder head, this chamber a little bit. Now I'm pretty sure this is a 63. A 63 head, and I'm saying that because a better look right there. If you look at this, get this cleaned up a little bit, where you can see a little better. When in doubt, use a screwdriver. Now, over the years, they made the Slant 6 was about 20 years. They had two different cylinder chambers, possibly three, at least in the United States. And this is the first generation. You can tell by looking at it here. Later generations, this is much more pronounced right here, and this little spot right here is not there. So this is definitely a 63 head. Should have a 1.6 intake, 1.3 something in exhaust. I think they changed this part in 64. Don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. There's only actual two chamber designs officially. I already said this, didn't I? There's been reports that somebody found a closed chamber cylinder head where this part, this had the later part there, it's kind of a bathtub design. This is closed in, gives some push area, and this had the later model large, very pronounced lip here. I've only heard of one like that, and that's some guy in Fabo found it when he was rebuilding his engine for his 64 Valiant. I think he got it out of a junkyard or something. So maybe Chrysler was experimenting with a different cylinder head design, and it got out in the wild instead of being locked up in the research area. There's also a racing series down in Argentina. It's a Formula 3 3-liter Formula style class, open chassis cars, open wheel cars, and they run the 170 down there. And they had a heart shape. The custom made head for that was a heart shape, so combustion chamber. And I guess there's a version of that running around in the Midwest at one of the Slant 6ers garage, racer's garage. It's interesting. They never run a production car in the United States, and they probably were never a production car in Argentina. They're probably a one-off for that one racing series. It makes you know that's nice that somebody made a head for the Slant besides Chrysler. So this is definitely a 63 head. So let's pop the valves off and take a look at them. We're going to see if this is overhaulable or if we have to rebuild it. I think the way these valves are, we're probably going to have to probably a rebuild kind of it. So let's pull this off. Well, they're going to break my phone doing that. Okay, these bolts are 9/16. It's been a while since these have been off. Look how precise that is. In the later blocks, later grids, that gets a little sloppy. Rocker arms are all the same on these things up until they went hydraulic in the 81. And then I did the reverse hydraulic thing where the lifters are oil powered through the hydraulic pressure for the lifters came through the rocker arms down the push rod. Kind of an odd way of doing it. I guess I kept them from redesigning the block again. But by that time, they decided the Slant 6 was on the way out. Chrysler had gone broke by then. And everything is K-cars after it's like a truck. Okay, there we go. Let's get rid of this. In the later valve trains, the rear one here had a tapered bolt on it. This one has a straight through one. Notice the hole there is slightly larger than that. That's how they got the oil into the rocker shaft. Why they made a change, I don't know. I guess some engineer had to get their marks done there. Smooth this over a little bit so I don't smack it when I take the things out. Here we use a spring compressor and disassemble at least number 1 cylinder. Take a look at the valves on it. Can't remember how to use this thing. Get this prop up here. This lightweight duty one works really great on stock springs, not too good when you start getting the springs up too high, too much pressure on them. It works, but it kind of bends. When you're going over the head, you should probably do a visual inspection of all the springs, make sure there's no broken springs. These are all single springs, no dampener. And they all look pretty good. Yep. We just centered ourselves. Nope, broke the spring loose. These are 3-groove keeper. Keeper looks fine, kind of dirty. Huh. A lot of garbage in there. Spring looks fine. The umbrella seal has disintegrated. So this ours is had oil drawn by. It pushes out a little bit. Now we're going to do a shake test. This guide really should be replaced. There you go. And look at the face on that. There's a ridge on there, and it's very, very pitted. The shaft itself feels okay. This will need to actually have to grind the valves on this, not just do a lapping and push it back together. Technique called knurling, where they run a special tool through this, and it pushes the metal up so it seals against there. This has not had that happen to it. Yeah. There's quite a groove on that valve. This has to be taken out, maybe even replaced with a new valve. Okay, let's take the next intake out. Oh, you heard bending my fingers here. We're going to just do number one. I don't see any point in taking the rest apart. I already know I got to put new valves, or at least have them turned. The guides need to be replaced. They're wore. Boy, that does not want to let go. There we go. Maybe the other people. Wow. Only one keeper on there? That's a broken something. Yeah, let's even get this probe out. Look at that, Bennett. Hit. The umbrella seal fell apart. This don't look too bad. Nice and smooth. Dirty. Oh, I can't believe it broke a keeper. Do a shake test. A little bit. Probably really doesn't need to be done. And I can pull the damn valve out. Okay, the shaft looks pretty good. The seat's not bad at all. This could be lapped, but since we gotta grind one, well, we'll grind them all. You don't save any money only doing one. That's the keeper. Amazing. Huh. Well, let's turn over and look at the seat and its head. See what it looks like. There. See that okay? Yeah, I guess you can. The seat's not bad in the head. But like I said, since you're going to have to grind the valve anyway, replace the valve, you might as well have put new seats in this, because I think they're kind of recessed into the head a little bit. They're not badly pitted. But these heads are, what, 60 years old now? Who knows how many valve jobs these have been done over the years. At least one. My estimation, you can't overhaul this, you can't just replace the stuff because, well, I guess you could. I mean, it depends on what you want out of your car. Maybe the guide on here is too loose. The guide out here is just fine. This valve needs replaced. Look how it's recessed in there if you look at it from the side here. There's actually a lip there where the valve seat rolled into the valve. This head would have to be rebuilt. That means you'd have to put new guides in it, possibly new seats, definitely new valves. If we can do all that, maybe you want to go to bigger valves, the 1.7 stuff on here. Or maybe you just want to trade it ahead and somebody else worry about it. Interesting to see what the rest of them are like. But we're not going to do that on this film. So I'm going to wrap this up. And this is the end of this series. So this is the end of disassembly and engine identification. We identified everything in the box. Come here again. That's it.